share your experience about Speak for India.
Well, myself, Kavya Madhavan Krishnan. I'm a third year BA economics student hailing from St. Joseph's College, Devagiri. Well, the whole idea of Speak for India is to become an informed citizen in the 21st century, where the voice of each and every youth of the country plays an active role in its functioning, wherein it becomes important to make every country reach its highest end of year and to phenomenal heights. So for me, this is my third attempt. And it has been a culmination of mistakes. But today, standing at the semi-final stage, all I wanted to say is that growth is the ultimate process. Growing each and every time is something that is important. And just one more thing. Every competition should always be on a healthy note, and it must be a healthy competition. Speak for India has always validated the so-called healthy competition, which is very important. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much.
Greetings, everyone. It's a wonderful evening at St. Joseph's College, Devagiri. I'm Alka Maria Simon. About Speak for India, I always tell my friends that Speak for India is a platform more of friendship than of competition. So it's very important that you make friends out here. And when I've come here for the third time this time, I think, I've made too many friends. Too many friends that Speak for India is a competition that you never can say no to. And I guess the platform is more glorious with the star-studded jury that, we wait and see every time. Because this is a platform which tells you that no matter where you are, competition is what matters. And competition, again, is going to be very healthy, very friendly, and then you're here so that you learn from the other person. And there are too many things you can learn and you can improve. So every time you're on stage, it's always for improvement. I would remember and thank all my friends, my teachers, and my family. This is very beautiful to stand on stage today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alka. All the very best, both of you. And now, Kavya, you have 1 minute and your time starts here.
There is no antithesis between life and death. Death is the culmination and dying is the process. Let me remind to you, euthanasia and physician-assisted suicide are not ends in themselves with intrinsic value. They are the possible ways of a quality dying experience. Supplementary benefit of this include organ transplantation, wherein 70% of the organ comes from these patients. Let me remind you, the meeting point between bioethics and law is that they does not lie on a straight course, which implies the fact that legalizing active euthanasia becomes the need of the hour. Minimizing human suffering as well as maximizing individual autonomy becomes the basic foundation of a dignified life. Well, for me, I would like to enlighten a point of economic benefit. Let me make it clear, India already in a vicious cycle of poverty, and rampant poverty is in the detracting and a moral degradation of spending a vast majority of its resources on these people who have no chances of recovery.
Your 1 minute starts right now.
Pearl S. Buck was right when she said that euthanasia is a long, smooth-sounding word, and it conceals a danger like most long, smooth-sounding words. But there's danger, nevertheless. In the 1994, the extensive inquiry made by the British House of Lords finally came to a conclusion that there would be no amendment required for the law of euthanasia because it alters the kind of conscience the people have and thrusts upon some undue power upon the doctors. We find that when you legalize euthanasia, we're trying to hamper or maybe bring back the kind of meticulous research that can happen in the palliative care. Moreover, the legalizing of euthanasia is going to develop or just maybe produce an acceleration in the rate of studies dealing with teleology. In addition to this, we find that this is not just a right to die, this is a right to kill, that you're legally permitting the doctors to kill someone. It's not the right to die. In addition to this, we find that this is a losing of the opportunity to care for the vulnerable people in the society, which is again a right, a kind of responsibility as citizens of the country.
Let me substantiate what I've said. The state of Maharashtra versus Maruti Shudapti Debal has said that in the case it is said right to die or right to life. Right to life doesn't mean a forced life wherein you stay in a vegetative state for millions of years and causing a financial burden on the country and economy that is already in a recession and becoming a family burden. I don't substantiate this.
Okay.
I totally respect your point, but I would say that this is part of the market culture that we are standing in. This is the use and throw culture. See, the parents of ours, or maybe the elders, or particularly people, we extract all the resources and we throw them away. The same thing that we are doing. We extract the resources of the country, we go elsewhere and do the job, we improve their economy, and we say India is still developing. I would just connect to the point that the palliative care, the hot spice movement of 1967 under Dame Cicely Saunders was something which promoted the palliative care to an extent that we come to a point that there is something called a middle opportunity. Rather than die and euthanasia, you have something called treating others in the palliative sense.
Over to you, Kavya.
Okay, so you're talking about the palliative centers and the effectiveness of that. So let me remind you something. 4,300 centers for every person. And 6 million people wanting to have palliative care in India, approximately. With no efficiency and lack of inadequacy. And you still say me that palliative care is effective so that you can actually bring recovery. Well, I don't believe.
Over to you,
I
Alka.
would tell you the answer in the sense that Netherlands, a place where euthanasia is sort of legalized, we find that the palliative care has come back. In any terms that the hospice has actually come down. So we just want to kill people. We will just discard them off. Okay, useless people. Why should you waste your resource on them? But I think this is less humane. This is being less human. And if you're human, it's about carrying the other person with you. It's live and let live. That has always been the motto.
Over to you, yes.
My dear friend, you live in the 21st century where technology becomes the mother of necessity. So let me remind you just one thing. Say, a country with 16% of world population and just 4% of resources, and you're ultimately in a system where you're just aiming to become a 6 trillion economy, and you're just spending a huge amount of resources on people that have no chance of recovery ultimately. So the biggest question is the question of care, the question of cost, and who should bear this?
Please.
I guess the government has to bear this. I mean, it's always better than killing someone. If the government takes up a law and legally tries to kill someone, I guess the resources meant for that can be actually deviated enough to sustain the life of another person. See, the resources which should be used for care and console is something that is deviated totally for search and destruction. This is something that should be brought down. This is in some way or the other the thanatos that you're seeing, the death. We are not looking at the good in euthanasia. It's the death. It's a harsh reality.
Got the point,
Yes,
please.
it's the death.
Any patient or their close relative can actually refuse the treatment. Patient can say, or the relatives and patient can in advance put it in writing, saying that I don't require ventilator, I don't require painful treatments, like that. So when you have a choice not to take the treatment, why do you, and that will result in the death ultimately. So many of the things are because of the life-saving thing people are actually suffering. So in that context, why do you require actually an euthanasia like a mechanism for someone else to decide this person's life should be ended? Because that person has not taken the decision that I want to die.
Okay. Here we go. Your time starts now.
Sir, let me make it clear that it has been said that the final decision for legalizing euthanasia lies in the collector's medical board, wherein we have been trying to plug out each and every loopholes of the law and actively standing with this point. Gandhi once said that I do not want to die of a creeping paralysis of my faculties. So the point here is that we live in the country where human rights have to take a broader sense. We live in a country where human dignity does mean a forced life, but human dignity means enlargement of choices. Human development is almost that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Kavya. Now it's your turn, Alka.
All the medical faculties have been completely failed. Palliative is not working. Medical science have no solution. I am suffering with pain, pain after pain. Then why do you want me to live in that pain? Do you think that is more noble in keeping me alive and live in sufferings and pain rather than allowing me to die?
Alka, your 30 seconds starts right now.
Thank you so much for the question, sir. For the part of pain, I'll always say that it's not just happiness that gets increased when it's shared. The pain gets divided too. I still believe that the presence of someone who can be as beautiful as a friend, as a mother, as a father, or anyone, one single person, one single light, so that the light that is already dropped in you can be rekindled. That single light is capable enough, sir. So we'll come back. And about Aruna Shanbag, I guess the 42 years of pain that she was in, and that was why the euthanasia was, I guess we have to eradicate the cause. Prevention is always better than the cure.
Thank you so much, Alka.